Over the course of this year, it has gotten into more and more detail as he's gotten closer to this point. So I think that what I saw in the sort of the Q&A in that particular intelligence briefing that he received, I've seen thousands of those, Shannon. So I mean, I was very comfortable with the conversation and the level of discourse and, frankly, what he got. And as I said at that time, that what was presented to him is in stark contrast to the policy decisions that are coming out of this White House. So tomorrow will be interesting, and there's a set of topics that we've asked for, so we'll see how that goes.
Okay, now you are somebody, obviously, who has served our country. I and millions around this country have got great respect for you, but when we hear Donald Trump say things like,
and again, put it in the context of when it was. So we're talking about, I think, almost a year later from that particular comment. Where we are, and I'm glad that you raised this thing that may or may not happen. I don't know if you know what the final result is going to be on this Commander-in-Chief forum next week.
Sounds like it's happening.
Yeah, or who is supporting Hillary Clinton versus who is supporting Donald Trump. I think that what we will see is an individual in Donald Trump who is ready to serve today as the Commander-in-Chief. I have no problems with Donald Trump stepping up and understanding the complexities. I describe them, Shannon, as the perils that the next president is going to face because of the mess that has been left on the world stage in places like the South China Sea, North Korea, the Eastern European border of Ukraine, where Russia is going through a massive exercise right now, and just the utter disaster in the Middle East and parts of North Africa. I mean, that's what the next president is being left by this current administration, and that includes Hillary Clinton spending 4 years laying this thing on the world stage, so as a Secretary of State. So it's a mess.
Who do you think is taking the bigger gamble by showing up at this event next week? They won't be on stage together, but they're both going to face tough questions. There'll be veterans and other military leaders in the audience and asking questions. Is it a bigger gamble for him or for her?
Yeah, I think so. So I think it's a much bigger gamble for her because she has not. She's not been out all that much, so I'm sure that she'll be prepared. Like everybody says, she prepares very well. But I think that what you've seen and what you've heard from Donald Trump over a year, and his constant talking about the issues and talking about the world as it is today, the reality that we face, and some of the threats that we face, I think actually he will be. In fact, I know he's going to be much better prepared personally for Donald Trump to be able to address the issues that he's going to be asked about.
All right, General, thank you always for your service to this country. Congrats on the book, and we'd love to hear from you after the briefing tomorrow. Newsroom, Patrace.
Hey, Shannon, during the one-hour Commander-in-Chief's forum, Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton, as you say, won't be on stage together, but instead will appear back-to-back. And today's show host Matt Lauer will moderate. And that's sparking conflict of interest concerns because Lauer once appeared on the Clinton Global Initiative website as a notable member. The page has since been taken down, and NBC says it never should have been up in the first place, saying, quoting, Matt Lauer was not and is not a Clinton Global Initiative member. It should also be noted that Fox Business anchor Maria Bartiromo was also listed as a CGI member, and she too denies it. But conservative critics have been pointing to media bias in this campaign ever since ABC News anchor George Stephanopoulos interviewed Hillary Clinton without disclosing that he had donated large sums of money to the Clinton Foundation. ABC later apologized, and the GOP blocked Stephanopoulos from moderating a Republican presidential primary debate. Now, with the first of 3 presidential debates scheduled for September 26th, Donald Trump has said he won't appear if the moderators aren't fair. The Presidential Debate Commission, which picks the moderators, says the campaigns really don't get a say, but clearly the commission realizes what a delicate dance this is. Consider that normally the commission announces moderators in mid-August, and now it won't be until at least next week. For the record, a morning consult poll among registered voters has Anderson Cooper and Megyn Kelly topping the list of preferred moderators. Presidential debates normally draw between 50 and 70 million viewers. Experts say the September 26th debate could draw 100 million. Shannon.
She gets my vote. Trace, thank you. Joining us now, Howie Kurtz, host of Media Buzz on Fox News. Mo Alithi, the founding executive director of Georgetown University's Institute of Politics and Public Service. He served as traveling press secretary on Hillary Clinton's 2008 campaign. And Guy Benson, townhall.com political editor and a Fox News contributor. Welcome all of you. What was it that changed your mind, and will you be able to support Mr. Trump in any way?
Well, let me say it's a tough decision because I realize that not supporting Donald Trump means that it's more likely that Hillary wins, right? And Hillary's unacceptable. Count me as a never Hillary person, but I can't be part of his Hispanic Advisory Committee, and I can't support him anymore.
Did you?
Look,
let me ask you this: Did you
night,
get a different sense of him? Because I know a couple of weeks ago there was a meeting. You all were a part of that. There were trickles after that saying, "Hey, listen, we really do think he's softened up. We think that there is a good way forward here." There were some who took that the next step and said, "Oh, he's caving in on things like amnesty and that kind of thing." But was there such a difference in what you heard in that private meeting and what you heard last night? Is that what did it for you?
Absolutely. When we met with them on the 20th of August, he was prepared, he was compassionate, he was realistic. He sounded like a businessman. He acknowledged that the 11 million who were not criminals needed some accommodation, whether it was internal touchback or going back to their home countries quickly. But none of that was in the speech. And they built this speech up to be the seminal speech of the campaign on immigration. And they did not deliver. It was just populist propaganda taken from the talking points of FAIR and Numbers USA. And these aren't conservative groups.
Let me bring
hear
Alfonso.
A conservative last night.
Let me bring in Alfonso on this as well, because I know that you said you took a big chance. You really wanted to support Mr. Trump, that you kind of stuck your neck out here. You say that you are not somebody who's going to support Hillary Clinton. But where are you today with regard to Mr. Trump?
No, like Jacob, I've withdrawn my support from Mr. Trump. I wanted to support him. I mean, Hillary Clinton, for me, is not an alternative. She would be disastrous for this country. I'm concerned about the future of the Supreme Court. I'm concerned about our economy. I'm concerned about the dignity of the human person, the right to life. She'll be disastrous in all those areas. So we wanted to support Mr. Trump, and we were hoping that he would move to the center on immigration. And it's not only that he was telling different people privately that he wanted to support some form of a path to legal status. Publicly, he was saying that. He said that he wanted to treat undocumented immigrants in a more compassionate and humane way. And remember, in Town Hall with Sean Hannity, he did say he was softening. And he did say that those people who are good and hardworking people who are here without documents, that we should find a way to regularize them inside the country. Now, we waited. We hoped that that speech was going to be constructive. You know, we were sticking our neck out because just yesterday I was on this network supporting Mr. Trump, hoping that he was going to be constructive on the issue, and he gave a speech where he proposed a plan that is worse than what he has proposed initially. It was a nativist plan. The message to undocumented immigrants, to all of them, even if they've been here for 20 years and are good, hard-working people, the message was, you know, you have to self-deport or we will deport you. And if you leave, if you want to return, that is not guaranteed. I mean, at the beginning, when he started his campaign, he was saying that the good people would leave and they would re-enter immediately. That's something he said continuously. Even that is off the table right now. So at this point, I just can't support him.
All right. Alfonso and Jacob, we thank you both for sharing your perspective with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Now, hear from the Trump campaign, Katrina Pearson, national spokesperson.